Hello everyone, Michelle from Holistic Pillars. Welcome back to part 3 of our 3-part chat with Tracey McBeath Health Coach. Hi Trace.
Hi Michelle, great to be here again.
We've been doing a 3-part series and this is our final one. The first one we talked about you, your journey and health coaching. The second one we had a chat about low carb and something that's close to our hearts and what that means, your journey with Hashimoto's and carnivore. And today I wanted to talk about, again, go back to the health coaching space. I think there's a misconception out there that health coaching is all about food, and we just know it's so much more than that. So I would like to tap into some exciting stuff that you're doing in that space with mind, thoughts, feelings, and things like that. So, yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your coaching in that space, please, Trace?
Yes, absolutely. So, when I first started as a health coach, I thought it was just about food. I didn't realize there was so much more to it. And as I think I sort of said in the first one, there was just my clients were sitting in front of me with things that I had no idea how to help with, years of emotional eating and drinking or stress eating, using food for other reasons other than really nutrition. And as with a lot of things, I kind of realized that my issues were being mirrored back to me in my clients. I mean, this is in my really early days that I too hadn't acknowledged, but I too had an emotional eating habit, for want of a better word, and an emotional drinking habit. So in that, I had just, had habitually started to use food and I think it was from a very young age. It just was something that I used when I was sitting in a feeling I didn't like. If I was sad or I'd hurt myself or depressed, or food looked like the answer. And what happens is with any habit over time, it quickly becomes something that looks to us that we don't have a choice. So when we feel the urge, great for a wine with a young mum, there's very much a mummy, wine culture, because having young children is full on. But every time it hit 5 o'clock, I had that voice in my head that said, you deserve a glass of wine now. But a glass of wine turned over the years into a bottle of wine most nights. But I didn't really kind of want to see that in myself. But if we look, we'll see the universe sort of giving us little messages. And I saw that in a lot of my early clients. So I realized there was a big puzzle piece missing in my knowledge. And I just started looking and going on a journey. And I discovered, as I said in the first one, the 3 principles of mind, consciousness, and thought. And I started to see that, we are always driven to do what we do by the thinking that we've got going on in our mind. And whether that's conscious or subconscious, that is the only way that we work. We don't work in any other way. And the more I looked here, the more I saw that, and, combined that with a little bit of brain science around habitual pathways. So when we act and we do, that's what the brain does. It just spits out what we put in and it creates these pathways, which are fantastic and helpful when we walk into a room and we know that thing with 4 legs is a chair. We don't have to relearn things every day that help us in our everyday lives, but can trip us up when we start to fall into what looks like at the time a good thing to do, but then we just don't know how to get out of it. And, I really there was nothing that had helped me. I grew up with a brother who was an addict. Addictions have been in my family. My grandfather was an alcoholic. It's just something that I've had in my life for a very long time. And I think I knew there was something missing. I knew I wasn't broken. I knew I wasn't an alcoholic, but maybe I might have been diagnosed with that had I looked to go down the path of diagnosis, but I didn't. And basically what happened is when I learned this understanding and understood how it worked, I started to see that I didn't have to act. I didn't have to act on the habitual thought that I had, that who we are is not our thinking. that our brain is a very limited really in its capacity to guide us through life, but we've got this inbuilt connection to wisdom, to instinct, to, you know, that's much bigger and much broader and much it's just got so much potential. And that's, you know, that's what I saw. I just saw really that I didn't have to act when I had the urges, and over time I didn't. And I haven't eaten emotionally for years now, and I haven't had a drink. If I do have the occasional drink now, I do it because I want to do it for no other reason. You know, I still very much, you know, will sometimes get the thoughts, but I know I don't have to pay attention to it. I've really created distance between my habitual mind and, you know, who I am and what I want to do. And it literally was a choice. You know, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to, you know, follow that thinking.
A lot of people would probably relate to what you're saying, but how do you, you're very, you know, obviously strong-minded, or, you know, as in...
I'm not, though. I'm not.
You've changed a habit. There's a
but because you change a habit because you understand how it works. I didn't, you know, we think that it's about willpower and discipline. Willpower and discipline, that's thought. That's just thought. And that's temporary. It's very limitless. And it thinks that we have to just work harder, and we just have to push through harder, or I don't know, continue on the same path, but just do it harder. Whereas this is completely looking in a different direction. And when you understand it, it's like you just don't get so fooled by it. So I might have some thinking that says we're in lockdown again. What is this going to mean? You know, I'm back to homeschool and trying to work. And, you know, I know now when my head is full of thought that I'm not in my best feeling and I'm not going to make the best decisions. And what I didn't know before that was that, you know, I just thought that I had to fix that. And I just kept, you know, you just keep going on that vein until you see that you don't have to, that you can put it down, that you can let all that go. And really bring your awareness back to the present moment. You know, we live in our minds, and we do things like drinking or eating, you know, to make ourselves feel better, because we don't want to live in the moment that we're living in. But that's really because it's a trick, you know, our mind's just taking us out of the present moment. And, you know, it's an internally created feeling. You know, when we understanding that we're always just living in the feeling of our thinking, why would we reach outside of ourselves for the answer to something that's internally created? You know, imagine if you'd lost your keys, you'd lost them on the inside of the house, but all you did was search for them on the outside. You're never going to find them. So it's about just redirecting. You know, this whole understanding there is a lot of psychologists teaching it. I'm not obviously a psychologist, and, you know, I would never put myself in that. But the potential of what we see when we understand that we are born with everything we need, we're not broken, that we have this innate capacity for wellness, and our well-being is within us, but we've just got also got a psychology and a brain that just works like a brain, like a computer, and that it's not who we are. It's just the brain, and thought isn't us. You know, we can start to distance ourselves from that and wake up to the potential that we've all got within us. And, you know, that's limitless. That's limitless. So, you know, it's not just that. That's how it's really helped me. And that's where I went down that path. But, you know, how it shows up in terms of my clients and in my work is very different depending on who I've got sitting in front of me. But because I'm now speaking about this a lot more, it took me a long time to get my voice and to have confidence to get my voice, because again, you know, we think we have to share things or say things in a right way, whereas I've seen now that I can just say it from me, and that's all I need to do. I can only ever share what I've seen, and and how it looks for me, and that might help someone, it might not, but that's not on me. I don't have that power to change anyone, but just to show them the potential when they look there, it's the best thing in the world to show people.
I love it. Talk about, is this tapping into your recent stuff on, like, all around your year of abundance?
Yeah, so I started doing that just on my Instagram page because I was getting, look, the last 18 months with COVID and lockdowns is creating, and there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of people, division, because people are thinking over here, other people are thinking over there. And when we don't misunderstand what's going on, we think that we can't be friends with those people because you don't think the same as me, you don't see the world. Well, when we understand how we work as human beings, it's impossible to see the same. We'll never see the same. And we don't need to follow that tribal thinking to just be friends or be with people that see the same as us. So it just occurred to me that, well, metabolic health is so important. And whether we get vaccinated or not, our metabolic health is our protector, in terms of either getting COVID or how we respond to the vaccine. That's number one. So getting our immune system, we have a natural immune system. Let's get it working as strong as it can. But then let's understand how we do work as human beings. And if we want to heal, if we want to see more love instead of fear, we have to look here, and it has to come from within here. And when we're triggered to feel an uncomfortable feeling based on what somebody else does, that is the invitation to look within here and really understand that, everyone's allowed and will experience and see the world in the way they do. Doesn't mean that we can't still love them. Like that's just a misunderstanding. And the more we see beyond that, the more we see that we create our own reality, the more we see that we're responsible for our own emotions because they're created internally, and we don't have to fear that. The more, that's how the world will change. That's really just all I could see. That's what I could see as how I could hopefully just show hope and just encourage people to heal from within here.
To me, this is ringing for me about creating your calm, being in the moment, accepting kindness, compassion, all of those other things as well, which is all about good health, mental health as well. So, and we talk about health coaching, and one of aspects nutrition, and this is mindfulness. This is all about knowing who you are. Am I on the right track with where we're going with this?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's the potential that's within all of us. It's not that some of us have it and some of us don't. We've all got it, but it's just our awareness of it is different in everybody. And that's what we have to change. The level of awareness that it's in fact in us, that if we don't see it, how do we know? Like we won't tap into it. I spent 43 years of my life with no understanding that I had a wisdom I could listen to, that I had like a universal internet that I could plug into to just have this amazing, insight into how I can live my life. I didn't know that until somebody showed me, because I lived in my little mind, in my world. And when we're living in here, we're not living out there. We're not living in life. We can't be, because we're just focused on this habitual stuff, this thought that just goes over and over again. And most of it is either past or future. It's not present. If we're living in the present moment, we'll have very little on our mind.
So how do we get people to live in that present moment? Is there any tips? Any questions we could ask ourselves?
Well, we first got to just become aware of it. We've got to start to look. We've got to start connecting that what's going on here is creating what's in our body, that feeling. if you start to connect your thoughts with your feeling, you'll become so much more aware of it. Most people have no idea that feeling that they're living in is coming from their thought. So start connecting that as well. That's a really big thing. And it's no one can do that for you. Like anything in life, it's your job. It's your responsibility. You've got to look yourself. You've got to want to do it. And there's only two reasons that people won't do it. One, they think they know. I already know, so I'm not going to look. Or the other one is I'm too scared of what I might see. That's that fear of seeing something new, of, oh, if I see something, then I'll have to change. Or, that's a big thing why people won't go to low carb, because they think, you're going to tell me I'm not going to be able to eat my favorite bread. Oh, I'm not giving up my favorite bread, so I'm not even going to look. Again, that's just what the brain does. The brain has limitations and it keeps us very small. So seeing beyond all that, you just got to look there. And there are so many things on the, if you Google 3 principles and look up, there's so much out there on it, because there's a big community teaching this understanding. Because again, it's like the low carb. To me, it's perfect, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's just, you're healing the body as well as the mind. It's just that it's the ultimate package. You can just heal the mind or just heal the body, but you're missing out on, the ultimate package, if you like.
Yes, Trace. I'm in this link, I'm just going to send some more information on the 3 principles, I think, to support this chat. I just think there's so much more that I'm not tapping into, like the actual, getting behind it, like to learn more. But thanks for sharing that with me today.
You're welcome. And I think your listeners, if they want to go into my Instagram, I'm only sharing it on Instagram, no other platform. And, I might show up with a post or just talking. But if you start from it's actually, I'm sort of purposefully doing all the grounding now. So a lot of the posts are about our innate well-being, how thought rules our world, and how we can start to, really break up with that. It's like, can't stop thought. See, that's the other thing. People think that we can stop and control our mind. We can't, but what we can do is completely change our relationship to it. And that's where the freedom is. That today is going to be about true freedom. And that is being free from the clutches of our mind, our little mind, and the thoughts that go on, the fear-based stuff that goes on, and seeing beyond that. And, that's all the grounding stuff. And but it's really important to see that, it's just a flow. You start with the grounding, like anything, the foundations are really important.
Fantastic. And I have shared a couple of your little clips in the last, what day? I think
have.
Day 7 or something.
Today, I think we're day 9 of a year.
There's some really good insights. It's just really, really, it's fantastic stuff about raising awareness and all that sort of stuff. Love it. But thanks, Trace. Again, part 3 done. Thank you for your time today. Day 1 of lockdown 6.
Is it 6? I've lost count.
You can get on with your day now. I'll take it. Thanks for your time, Trace.
Thanks, Michelle. It was lovely. Bye, darling.
Bye.